Also this week, the Trump administration floated the idea of suspending the right of habeas corpus. When confronted by lawmakers on the issue, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem seemed to struggle with her understanding of the principle.
So, Secretary Noem, what is habeas corpus?
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to be able to remove people from this country and suspend their right to.
Let me stop you, ma'am. Habeas
right
corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect. Do you support the core protection that habeas corpus provides, that the government must provide a public reason in order to detain and imprison someone?
Yeah, I support habeas corpus. I also recognize that the President of the United States has the authority under the Constitution to decide if it should be suspended or not.
And joining us now for the ongoing immigration debate is Andrew Arthur, resident fellow of the Law and Policy at the Center for Immigration Studies. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, the Trump administration has accused the judiciary of disrupting its immigration agenda. You just heard that the vice president say that the courts shouldn't tell the people they're not allowed to have a vote, any say in this. What are the courts doing about this, and what's your interpretation of the law?
So every individual in the United States is, under the Fifth Amendment, entitled to due process before they are subject to a loss of life, liberty, or property. So due process is the standard that we follow, Eric, but the truly important part of that is the due part of due process. Due process is, it changes depending upon the status of the individual, and certainly that's especially true as it relates to immigrants to the United States. In that case, due process is an individualized right that differs depending upon how long that individual has been here, how they entered the United States, and what ties they have to our community.
Exactly. I mean, that's even regarding the right of habeas corpus. Can you explain to us quickly what exactly that is?
Sure. Well, talking about a 12th century legal principle in a short period of time is going to be hard, but it is a Anglo-American tradition that dates back to the Assize of Clarendon in 1166. And what it does is it guarantees that any person who is charged criminally can be brought in front of a district, magistrate, so that they can answer to the charges. And it literally means in Latin, as all good Catholics know, you have the body. And the you have the body in that case is the individual who is doing the detention. So it requires the individual who is detaining someone to bring them forward to a dispassionate court so that they can make a determination as to whether that detention should continue.
And it's important to note that the way that our laws are written right now, habeas corpus extends to people living in the U.S. illegally who aren't U.S. citizens, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Habeas corpus applies to everyone who is here, regardless of their status, but it's not the only protection that those individuals receive. Again, you have a due process right. When you talk about individuals, though, who are being detained and who the president is attempting to remove under the Alien Enemies Act, habeas corpus is the only review that those individuals can get, and the one that the Supreme Court has called for them to receive.
Well, Andrew Arthur, thank you so much for your insight. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.